Welcome back to the Venom Workshop. So don't mind the charger in the background here. These bikes, sometimes they get sitting on me for a while and I don't get to ride any of them because it's wintertime and we just can't ride. So they get a little dusty and the batteries go dead. But what we're going to be doing on this X22GT is we're going to be changing the throttle cable, and I'll show you how to adjust the throttle cable for this. Now this one has the upgrades on it. It's got the upgraded muffler. It's also got the upgraded carb on it. So it's got the upgraded Nibbi on it. So it's not real difficult what we're going to do. We are going to want to, I leave this fairing off because it's easier to get to the choke on the new carb. But we're going to be wanting to remove this fairing, and the seat. We'll do that together. It's not very difficult. So I'm going to grab my tools and I'll return shortly. So all you're going to need is a number 5 Allen key and a Phillips screwdriver, and then something just to put your bolts in. So there we go. So this is the only Phillips you have to take off. And then there's one more number 5 Allen bolt. Oh, yeah, but that one's tight. I put that one on pretty tight last time I guess. Alrighty. So this can come off now too. Like that. And then there's one bolt underneath that holds the seat. It's just a number 5 as well, so we're going to go ahead and remove that. All right, just like that. And then I'm going to go to the other side and do the exact same. You can too. There's no point in doing it on camera. So I'm going to do that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now we have to remove the seat. So we're just going to lift up on it like that, pull back, and that removes that out of the way. Now we're going to go to the other side. We can see a little better. There we are. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove the cap. Of our throttle. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull our throttle cable off. There we go. And you'll notice that this one I actually did the nub myself for the throttle cable. Just like that. So now our throttle cable's off. I'm also going to pull it out here. You'll notice at the top here I have it zip tied. And inside there it's just, I pushed it in, but the reason I did that is because I can move it in and out. I made a little spacer there so I could adjust it better. So now we're going to come up to our handlebar, and we're going to take our handlebar switch off so we can get our throttle cable off. And there's just 2 Phillips screws that hold this on. There's one right here, and then there's another one right here. So we're going to take just our stubby Phillips screwdriver that we had. And we're going to take them off so we can get our throttle cable off here. And we'll go ahead and loosen our back one off here. just gonna move my screws. I'm just gonna take this little plastic piece. It's just a slot right here. We'll put it back in when we're done. Oops. All right, so now to take off the throttle, we're just gonna fold that clam, switch back. We're just gonna pull the throttle off like that, and then this can be just removed and put out of the way. All right, so now to get this throttle cable off, you have to rotate this off of it. Just rotate it a couple of times like that, and it pops out of there, and we can pull our cable. Now just feel the cable like this. You should be able to pull it up through. If there's anywhere it's zip tied along, you're gonna have to cut the zip ties. So I'm gonna get my cutter right now. So far, mine is only zip tied right here. So right there. So I'm just gonna put the zip tie like that. And then I'll see if I can pull it all the way up through. Yep, that was the only place that was zip tied. There we go. So that's it. So we removed our cable like this. Now, when we're going to put it back in the exact same way. Now, the best way to get to the cable when you start fishing it down through here, so you start putting it down and you can't see it or find it, I'm going to show you the best way to look without taking the whole tank off and everything. So if you come back here, you can actually reach through here to grab things, or through here to grab things, and the cable should be just up ahead and you should be able to grab it no problem. That's the way I usually grab stuff, is just I reach in this way. If you find that your arm is too big, you can always remove this fairing, which is just this bolt and this bolt right here, and this fairing will pop off as well and give you a little bit more room. I should be able to get it with just this one the way it is. So like I said, what I would do is keep fishing it around here. See if you can see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. There we go. And I got it. So it's right there, and I got my cable right here. Oops. All right, so let's go ahead and put our throttle cable back on. So what you're gonna wanna do is, oopsies, there we go. You're gonna wanna push this up, put that little rubber tip back down like that, and then push this cable up and in. And then we're gonna wanna rotate our cable back on there. Make sure you don't cross thread it. And just get it on as far as that nut is. Like that, and that should be perfect right there. So now I'm just gonna go down back to my cable. There it is. Like that, there we go. Now you're gonna wanna take your handle right here, and you're gonna wanna slip the cable back in the little hole here on your handle, just like that. And now we can put our clamshell back together. Now to do that, right, so now when we put our clamshell back on, which is this part right here, we want to make sure that there's a little bolt right here. You'll see it lines up with that hole right there, and that stops it. So we're going to get the bottom in place first, and then we're going to move this one over like that. Now when you're doing that, we can pull down on the cable down there to make sure that our tension is still out, and we're going to want to remember to put this plastic piece back in that we took out. So our top of our switch is in the right place, and the bottom goes like this, but we want to put this piece of plastic in first. So it just clips in on the bottom like that, and then it goes back together like that. Now you might have to give a little shake to make sure that it all goes in nice and tight and everything's good. I'm not too sure why it's not snapping together here. There we go. Then once you got that like that, you can go ahead and put your screws back in. The short one goes in the front. And then that really long one goes in the back. There we go. Alright, so now I just have to get my screwdriver, and I'll put my screws back up tight. And then we're going to put it back on the carb, and I'll show you how to adjust the cable. Okay, now your throttle cable, you want to put it in this little holder right here. And you can run this little rubber up to it. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put it back on the carb first. So first off, we want to put the top of the carb back on. Put it all the way up into place like that. Then we have to put our spring back on. And remember, when you put that spring back on, this black piece right here has to go on the spring as well. Now we go ahead and put this on, just like that. Now, for the adjustment there, I'm going to want to adjust this a bit because it seems to be really tight up here. So to adjust it, what you want to do is, this is your adjuster right here. So you just loosen off this nut right here and move that adjuster in. Just like that. Like that, and that's how you do your adjustment, and you can move it, like I said, move it in, and that should be it. So I'm going to yeah. So now we just have to put our carb top back on and finish putting this all back together. All right. So now what I want you to do is come down here. And then I want you to rotate your throttle a couple of times just to make sure there's no restriction and you have good action. Yeah, that's working perfect. So now we're going to put this back in. Now when we put it back in, we want to make sure that this tab right here is flush with the idle screw on this side. and make sure that the needle valve goes down in nice and easy all the way to the bottom. If it doesn't go into the bottom and you have to force this top on really hard, then something's not right. So you want to just make sure and make sure there's just a little bit of pressure from the spring, not much. Okay, that's good. Good actuation on our choke. So before I put the handlebar end back on, I want to start this. It's running good. So we're going to pull our choke, the key on, fire it up. There we go. It's running perfect. My throttle's working. You can see the bike trying to jump and go. That's working perfect. Now, our bike off. We're going to go ahead. We're going to put our end cap back on right here. That is a Phillips screwdriver, and you just work the rubber in. I'm going to put a little bit of penetrating oil on it, and then I'll put it in. So all I did was use a little bit of penetrating oil. I'm going to go ahead and put that back in, just like that. And we're going to tighten that up. And then as I tighten it, it's going to balloon that rubber inside there, and it'll make it stay inside there like that. There we go. So now throttle's good, end cap's good. Now we just have to put our fairings back on and our seats, and that'll be it. So first thing we have to do is get our seats. Now your seat has two hooks. They hook right here and here, and they hook right into this and this, like that. Just like that. And now we can put our number 5mm in on the underneath the seat. Right in there like that. Of course I dropped it because c'est la vie. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we'll put this bolt in now. Okay, now you have to put this small fairing in like this. And go ahead and put your Phillips screw in. Right there. Okay. And then we just have to put in our under the seat fairing, so it goes in there and it just snaps in like that. And then we put our last bolt in for that fairing right here. Then there's one more fairing bolt that goes in right here. And that's it. And that's it, guys. I'm going to put the other side on. You guys can do the same. But that's it. So that is how you change your throttle cable and adjust your throttle cable on your X22GT 250 that's been modified.